I just got tray 28. So this is what it's looking at like on tray 28. And I've noticed a lot, especially if I'm like talking in videos or whatever, that I've noticed my teeth look huge compared to what they used to look like. A lot of my teeth were covered up by these teeth were covering up these teeth, and these teeth were covering up these teeth. So like I had two teeth on each side of one that would basically cover up the whole thing. And because they were so crooked, you could barely see my teeth. So now I just feel like I have giant horse teeth, but I feel like it's looking better. I don't know. It's really hard to judge because it's slow motion and it's hard to see myself ever with straight teeth because they've been crooked, obviously, for a long, long time. But just a couple tips to like think about if you do decide to do Invisalign. I would definitely ask like if you're an extreme case and you know how long do they realistically think it'll be, and I'm sure they can't make promises. But depending on, you know, who your dentist or orthodontist is, like definitely ask a lot of questions because I really did not think that I would have the buttons for one. Like all these buttons on my teeth, there's metal ones and all these clear ones. Well, they're clear on the Invisalign, but the actual glue stuff, those little buttons, they're white, but they're very noticeable. And thank God they got to take them off the front teeth because they were like on almost every tooth. And I had no idea. Like when I was paying for it and I signed up, I committed to the two years. I had no idea I'd have any of that stuff. So that to me was like very unfortunate because that probably would have helped me make a different decision. I probably would have went with the metal kind of braces, whatever you want to call those, the permanent braces that are just stuck on, because I could have just had them on and worn them all the time and just ate when I wanted to. And yes, you're limited on your like diet, but for my kind of eating, like I would have been fine. Like I don't struggle like, oh, I have to have candy, I have to have gum, or I have to have crunchy stuff or whatever. Like I'm pretty easy with food because I don't really eat that much. Like I'm a mom, so it's like I'll eat a few bites here and there throughout the day, and like eating is not that big of a deal to me. So I probably should have went with the other kind because now we're turning a 2-year thing into like a 4-year thing, and maybe the other kind of braces would have taken that long. I really can't say. I didn't really ask that question, but I'm just assuming because if it was on 24 hours a day, then it may have maybe been shorter. The only problem was I was getting married around the same time I started Invisalign, so that would have been an issue for my wedding pictures. Like I definitely wouldn't have wanted the metal kind of braces for my wedding photos. So maybe they could have possibly taken the brackets off for that day, you know, and just like put them back on the next week or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that's just my feelings about it. It's not that I regret it or anything. It's just, it is a lot of work and it's a big commitment because it's not like you can, you know, brush your teeth in the morning, run to work, and like grab a coffee on the way, because these will turn very brown very fast. And it'll be very obvious if you eat with them in. So throughout the day, it's very hard for me to wear these all the time because in the mornings, it's like, you get the kids out to school, you blah, 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 blah. You can have them in for a while, but then when it's your turn to eat or drink coffee, you have to take them out. And then you're just busy throughout the day. And it's like, I don't always have time to like, stop, go home, take them out, brush my teeth, put them back in, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just, it is a hassle. I'm not going to lie. And it would have been much better had I not have all these rubber bands. I have 3 rubber bands and buttons on almost every tooth. So even like whether I have them in or take them out, there is stuff still on my teeth that are obvious. So like photo shoots or wedding pictures, whatever, there was still stuff that's very obvious. Like my wedding photos, you could see these humps, like any profiles, because I had them all around these teeth too, and it was very stuck out obvious. So all you see in, you know, the commercials are people with basically straight teeth, maybe a tiny gap, maybe they're just like a little bit of crookedness, and you just see them putting them on, and it's like you can barely tell. And from here, you probably can't tell that I have them in necessarily. You just see kind of white, like it's kind of blurred. But it's just it's not like it's false advertising, but I would have had no idea that I would need all the wires and the brackets and whatever. Not really wires, but the metal, you know, and the buttons and the rubber bands and all that. And it's like the whole reason I went with Invisalign would be so it would be invisible. And so that, you know, it wouldn't be as obvious and that I wouldn't have all the cutting in my mouth. The cutting was the big issue. Like, I did not want to have to feel pain all the time or get infected, or like, I don't know, it could get infected, but whatever. Like, if you get a cut in your mouth, like, I didn't want that. But I ended up getting that a lot. And that was the other thing I was going to tell you. Like, Invisalign didn't stop me from getting cuts all in my gums. They were so sore for the first few months. Because it wasn't even where you stick the rubber bands. Like, I thought these had cut me. All these little metal things, those didn't actually cut me. It was the actual just Invisalign molds are very sharp. So even some, like my inside of my tongue, that could get sliced sometimes up pretty good. And it's basically like, it feels like a piece of plastic that you're taking off a toy, and they're very sharp. That's what it feels like, but it's in your mouth, and that sucks. So Invisalign, sorry, I clapped so loud. And I'm not getting paid for this, so like, Invisalign, if you feel like using my videos on your site, like, you know, cash at me or something. But yeah, not getting paid for this, and they may hate me because I'm just gonna tell you the truth, because I want people to know, like, there's actually another side of Invisalign that, like, it's not really advertised. At least I haven't seen any commercials about it, about them having a extreme case where they got to put all these buttons and brackets, and I never see anybody complaining about them cutting the inside of your mouth, because that was why I didn't want the metal ones. Crap, I lost my train of thought. I get all worried Invisalign's gonna be mad at me, but whatever, I'm paying for it, so. Anyways, yeah, don't like the cutting, and I can't remember where I was going with that, but just really be informed before you make the 2 to 4 year decision of which one you want to do. I just think now, I just put another kid through half braces or whatever, where she just did it on the few front teeth, and she really didn't have that much of a struggle. So I'm just thinking, like, man, it would have been nice to just like have something in all the time where you don't even have to think about it. You're just wearing them. You go to your appointments, they tighten them, whatever. You just wear them all the time and eat whatever and drink it. It wouldn't have mattered so much. And yeah, you got to clean them and stuff, but it's just a lot harder food-wise, and making sure you're diligent about keeping them clean because they stain really easy. Or if you did eat with them in, or like I went to an ice cream store with the kids, and I had my Invisaligns in, and you know, it's kind of difficult. You don't want to touch your mouth while you're like out. We were at a park or something like that, went and got ice cream afterwards, and it's like, okay, my hands are dirty, but I wanted to get some ice cream for me, and so it's like, okay, well, I have it, and then, like, I had to lick it, you know, to make sure it didn't drip, but I had my aligners in, and then it's like, even just a chocolate chip getting in them is just, it's disgusting, like, absolutely. So I have to stop the video and answer a phone call, but that's it for now. Like, that's my experience. Trey 28.